Hello! Welcome to English for Shared. Here, you learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's go!
The Lazy Husband. My name is Mary. I'm almost 50 years old. I'm married. My husband's name is John. He's 53. We've been married for about 25 years. We have two beautiful children, a boy and a girl. They're adults now. They're married and living their own lives. My husband is lazy. Very lazy. He spends all his free time sitting on the couch. He watches TV and plays video games. He drinks beer and whiskey, too. He eats and sleeps. That's his life. Sometimes I call him Whale, because besides getting fat, he never helps around the house. He never wants to go for a walk. He just says, "I'm tired. I need to rest. Leave me alone." And I do everything. I make dinner, I clean the house, I wash the dishes, I shop, I take care of the cats and the dog. I remember that back in the day we used to hug and date, but that was a long time ago. Now there's no love, no passion. We live together out of habit. I thought we'd be in love forever. I thought, okay, we'll grow old, have grandchildren, sit in the kitchen together, drink tea, and watch TV. But I was wrong. One Saturday morning, I was heading out to do some shopping. I opened the door. Then I remembered my card was in another bag inside the house. As I walked in and closed the door, I heard my husband's voice. He was in the living room. He was saying, "Yes, honey, I can hear you." I froze. My heart was beating so fast. My hands started to shake. My breath came in short gasps. I whispered to myself, "Honey?" He never calls me honey. Never. I hate those names. Honey, bunny, kitty, baby, and so on. He never used them with me. I leaned my back against the wall and listened some more. My husband smiled and said, "Yes, dear. Tomorrow night, then. I miss you too." I couldn't breathe. I almost dropped my coat. My stomach hurt. I thought, he has a wife? He has a mistress? But how? He's too lazy to go out. He never wants to go out. When he ended the call, I walked into the room. He was still holding the phone. He looked surprised. I asked, "Who is this, sweetheart?" He paled. He opened his mouth, but said nothing. After a few seconds, he said, She's my wife." My heart sank. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I stared at him. My voice was loud. "Your wife? You mean your lover?" He nodded. "Yes," he said. "I see her sometimes." I smiled, but it was a sad laugh. Desperate. I said, "How is that possible?" He smiled and said, "By her side, I feel alive." I felt a pain in my chest. Tears welled up in my eyes. "Alive?" I said. "I gave you 25 years of my life. I cook for you, I wash for you, I raised your children. And now you need another woman to feel alive." He looked away with a hint of disdain. "I'm sorry, Mary," he said. I started crying. I couldn't stop. So many things were going through my head. Our happy times together, our beginnings, our children, and now this damn surprise. I wiped away my tears and said, "Call your love. Call now. Come on." He stared at me. I continued, You'll see her today, not tomorrow. Today? He looked shocked. What? Today? He said. I said out loud, yes, today. Go to her. Run, jump, crawl. I don't care. Just go away. I don't want you here anymore. He sat on the couch and didn't move. His face was sad. But this is my home, Mary. Our home, he said. I shook my head. Not anymore, I said. You destroyed everything. Go to your darling. I need to think about my life. I need to think about myself. He grabbed his wallet and car keys. He looked at me one last time. Please, Mary, he said. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I didn't look at him. I didn't say anything. He walked slowly out of the house. I sat at the table. I put my hands on my face and cried. I cried so much. I was sad. I was hurt. I said to myself, 25 years, and now this. What will I do? How will I live? I looked at the empty couch. It felt strange. For so many years, it had always been there. Now it was empty. The room was completely silent. I remembered when our children were little. We were young. We laughed. We made so many plans. And now, nothing. Just betrayal. And I ended up alone, I thought. I spent the rest of the day alone. I didn't feel hungry. I didn't shower, because everything seemed pointless. I went to bed. I cried a lot in bed. I asked myself what I had done wrong. The next day, when I woke up, I felt something new inside me. A little courage and a decision. I told myself, I'm going to divorce him. I'm not going to live with an unfaithful man. I'll be free. I'll start over. I took a deep breath. My eyes were filled with tears, but I felt stronger. I called my daughter. My voice trembled. I told her everything. She said, Mom, you are strong. You can leave him. You don't need a man like that. We love you. Her words filled me with courage. After that conversation with my daughter, I felt I was no longer alone. Her support, and that of my son, gave me the strength to take my first steps. The next day, I called a lawyer. I made an appointment. Just saying the word divorce out loud, I felt a mixture of fear and freedom. I spent the next few weeks reorganizing my life. I started walking every morning. At first, it felt strange to go out without rushing, without worries. But little by little, I began to appreciate the wind on my face, the sun warming my skin. I rediscovered the pleasure of taking care of myself. I also decided to rekindle an old dream: painting. When I was young, I loved holding paintbrushes, mixing colors, and transforming canvases into landscapes and feelings. Life, routine, and the responsibilities of being a wife and mother had kept me from doing that. Now, I bought new paints, a blank canvas, and poured out my pain, my longing, but also my hope. The divorce wasn't easy. There were tears, there were arguments. John didn't seem to believe I actually had the courage to move forward. He begged me a few times, but I was determined. Deep down, John wasn't a good husband. He was selfish. I didn't want that again. I'll never forgive him for that. He apologized to me several times, but I didn't forgive him. He didn't respect the woman who dedicated 25 years of her life to him. Months passed. I was different, lighter, more alive. My children came to visit me often. We laughed together. The house, once filled with silence and pain, was once again filled with voices, the smell of fresh coffee, and fond memories. I began again, step by step, still scarred, but with a freer soul. One afternoon, my daughter came to see me and told me that her father was lonely. She said his lover left him after a few months. She said he was lazy and too complacent. Now he was living alone. He lived the same routine as before. Couch, drinks, television. Now he was sad and complaining about everything. He gained even more weight. His friends drifted away. Loneliness took over. One day, I learned he'd been hospitalized with liver problems caused by alcohol. I cried a little when I heard that, not because I still loved him, but because he was a part of my life. Because, deep down, it was sad to see someone lose themselves like that. He ended up alone with his own laziness as company. As for me, I learned something valuable. It's never too late to start over. I discovered that life goes on. I discovered that I can be strong. I discovered that I can still dream. And today, when I look to the future, I no longer see a void. I see a new path, mine alone. And finally, I feel like I'm living again. If you were in Mary's shoes, what would you do? Would you forgive your husband and live with him, or leave him like Mary did? Share your answers in the comments below.